Hello, and welcome to a playthrough of Amnesia: The Bunker, in which I'll completely minimize my interaction with the monster. Obviously, it means that apart from the very last room of the game, I won't get spotted by the monster, but I'll go a step further and try to make sure that he doesn't even come out, unless it's scripted or unless there is no way to avoid it. Playing this way is not compatible with completionism, however, and as much as I would like to go for all the notes and the dog tags and whatnot, some of them will be in rooms inaccessible to me, and as such, I've decided to only keep stuff I actually need, which is why I'm also calling this a minimalist run. Now, I know that playing this way isn't really intended, at least I don't think it is, and I can't even say it's the most fun way to play the game. But after playing it casually a bunch, I wanted to try something different, and since this channel is all about the ghost and playstyle, I thought it would be interesting to showcase. Now, if this is your first time seeing this game, I urge you not to watch this. Not only do I not want to spoil the experience for you, but this video will likely give you a very wrong impression of what the game actually is. So very briefly, The Bunker is a first-person survival horror game set within a World War I bunker, where you are hunted by an unkillable monster. Even though he is unkillable, you can still fight him and force him to retreat. And that's what attracted me to the game in the first place. I'm not actually a fan of horror games where we are completely defenseless and can only run and hide. And yeah, I know it's ironic, given that it's exactly what I'll be doing in this run. But, if that description sounds at all interesting to you, please go check out this game, play it, and then come back. You'll thank me later. With that out of the way, I'm gonna assume that anyone still watching is familiar with the game, and that I won't have to explain any of the basics. So let's roll. And we're playing on the highest difficulty that's available at the moment, which is hard. Note that for the purposes of this recording, I raised the gamma by 50%. It's crucial to get this piece of meat, and you also need to pick up at least one bullet here to trigger the first appearance of the monster. I took this brick with me in case there wasn't one in the prison, but there was. Since the latest patch, the monster can actually come out in the early game, so you have to turn on the generator as early as possible. The first place I had to go to was maintenance, since it's guaranteed to have several pieces of meat in the pantry. The rat here is scripted to trigger a trap when you approach, which also makes the monster come out. You can avoid that by distracting the rat with a piece of meat. Had the pantry door been booby-trapped, I would have to restart the entire run, since I need to get into this room. You don't have to distract these rats with a piece of meat, but their hissing can attract the monster. Luckily, it wasn't enough to make him actually come out. Now, before I even started this run, I expected this next room to be the biggest challenge. But as I found out, sometimes even a single piece of meat is enough to make the rat tunnel safe. And it's a strat I have now taken into my casual runs as well. You'll know you're safe to approach the rats if they don't hiss at you, but I have to say, this strat is not 100% consistent, and sometimes rats simply refuse to go for the meat. I imagine it's intentional, since otherwise meat would be too overpowered. When you pick up the key right here, the monster is scripted to come out and search the chapel. There is no way to avoid it. I wanted to have at least 3 pieces of meat left when I was done with maintenance, so I decided to take what I could carry. In the prison area, you have to break down a door, which always makes the monster come out. There is no way around that. The monster is also scripted to come out once you open the cell with the prisoner in it. I didn't go out of my way to look for pocket bags, but I also wouldn't pass one up if I just happened to stumble onto it. Because I didn't want to break down any more doors, I had to look for the communications room key on my own. Luckily, it was in the well-lit part of the barracks. Further on, I had to destroy a padlock, and to my knowledge, using a brick is the only silent way to do it. I'm not sure why I decided to disarm this trap. I think I expected to use this door on my way out of the barracks, but I didn't. I had to pass the pile of rats twice, but I didn't want to use more than one piece of meat on them. Luckily, I had enough time to do everything I needed in this room, and I'm sure it would have been possible even if the rats didn't somehow end up inside a wall. The arsenal ended up being the most difficult part of this run, and I must have spent at least an hour trying to get this segment right. No matter how quiet I was being, the monster would still come out, but what kept throwing me off is that he would come out at different points, sometimes sooner, sometimes later, even though I was doing the exact same thing over and over. You're about to hear a Discord notification, which got picked up when I was recording the footage. Sorry about that. In all my attempts, I was only able to reach the room with the dynamite 3 times without the monster appearing, but he would still do it here regardless, so I think it's scripted. Funnily enough, the monster decided to attack an explosive barrel and blew himself up, which also took care of the pile of rats that I thought I would have to pass on my way back. This box has given me a lot of trouble this time. You can usually just move it to the side. In the tunnels, you don't have to worry about the monster, but there is a hostile soldier down there. He will stay in one room until you make noise, at which point he'll try to search for you. The soldier is scripted to shoot a rat when you approach. The key here is speed. If you're fast enough, he won't have time to spot you. And I know I was in the clear, because when he does spot you, the game plays the same sound cue as when the monster does. I ended up with a lot more fuel than I needed, so I decided to refill the generator just for the hell of it. in the final confrontation with the monster, it's impossible to avoid detection. Not only does the monster constantly magnetize towards you, he is scripted to see you when you reach the other end of this room. And yes, I did try to distract him with the rabbit toy before doing this. And that's the run. I've definitely learned a few new things about the game while doing this, but as I said at the beginning, I think playing it casually is more fun. I'm not gonna bother showing the stats, since the game tracks everything you do, even if you reload after that. So my total playtime ended up being about 2.5 hours, and I also did get spotted by the monster a few times when just experimenting, so I can only hope that the run I'm showing here is clean. Anyway, let me know what you think, let me know if you'd like to see an actual run of this game, and I'll see you when I see you.